Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our influencer segment, brought to you by Biche Cucina, live from iHeart headquarters right here in Midtown Manhattan, we're featuring my dear friend, Blaise Ffrench. He's an actor, an influencer, an entrepreneur with over 3.5 million followers and counting. He's also the former marketing manager for Body Armor sports drink. Now, Blaise scored big with its Coca-Cola buyout for $5.6 billion, proving he has an amazing track record in branding. He's partnered with brands such as Milk Bar, Target, Banana Republic, Stance, True Religion, Fashion Nova Men. You all know Fashion Nova Men, and that's just to name a few. Today, he's joined by VIP Peter Guimaraes of New York City. Peter is managing partner at Biche Cucina Restaurant Group. He's founder of Tipsy Girl Wines and owner of Biche Cucina Restaurant right here in Manhattan. Quite the celebrity himself, in fact. Biche Cucina is always, and I mean always, swarming with famous people. From Mark and Donnie Wahlberg to 50 Cent, from Rod Stewart to Bruce Springsteen to the housewives of New York City, they all head to Peter's for a fun and relaxing night out. I'm there almost daily. Now, when considering all the elements of your business brand, there are many, and I mean many avenues to explore. Brand image, logo, design, brand marketing, and brand influence. That's just to get started. Now, powerful brands are definitely more likely to be chosen by consumers through the loyalty and recognition of their name. And this is why brand power can be a lot more important than brand power and product. When you think of where the stance is, it really is more important to be able to associate with the power of the brand than the product of the brand. And this is extremely important, and why focusing on building a recognized brand is truly the key to success. They're going to join me today to chat all about the power of branding and marketing, how social media has changed the marketing approach, and how celebrities can surely make or break a brand. Welcoming now to the show are my awesome friends, Peter and Blaise. Welcome, superstars.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Yeah, you got us. Nice to see you again. It's been like, what, 9 hours?
Literally 9 hours.
I get tired of seeing her.
I see Peter daily. Well, he's downstairs from iHeart headquarters here on 55th Street, and I mean, that's our go-to place for almost every meal. Congratulations on all your success, both of you, and thank you for coming back on. Blaise, let's get started with you.
Yes.
So let's chat brand power, which is essentially the ultimate sway your business will have in its chosen market. And this involves thinking about how your business can create a product or service worth having and the power your business has to make that product worth much more than competitors in a crowded market. What is your advice here?
I mean, coming from the beverage industry, Gatorade was a huge competition for us, and their product was 50 years old. It had artificial sugars and coloring in there, but the power of the brand was so strong that they had the market on lock. So, creating Body Armor and trying to fight against those guys that had a 50-year head start was really tough, but educating consumers, being in their faces, doing influencer marketing, radio campaigns. There's so many things that you have to do to establish your brand and create that marketing power. But it's really tough, and it's super key to have the power of marketing and branding. So
Well, you seem to have it down to a equation, a perfect equation, because you always come out winning. And whether it's the financial sector, industry, to restaurants and fashion brands, appeasing your customer is key. And what we know is that the power of social media and a strong online presence is critical to building brand trust and loyalty. Consumers need and crave connectivity, and connectivity breeds community, and community breeds loyalty, and loyal customers, well, they feed the bank account. It's all intertwined. Peter, you are a very successful entrepreneur. You have a very successful business, Biche Cucina franchise, and a liquor brand called Tipsy Girl Wine. What is your secret to building customer loyalty, and what kind of creative collaborations with celebrities can you share that have truly benefited your brands?
Well, first, thanks for having me. It's a crapshoot sometimes. You get a lot of luck, and I think over my experience, it's been timing. Timing is the best thing that could happen to you. When I started Tipsy Girl, there was a market for it. There was a need for it. I was on the Housewife show, so I had 4.2 million people watching me every Wednesday, and of course, I was pushing Tipsy Girl. So having the right platform, having timing. And I'll tell you something one of my oldest partners told me one day, and he said, Peter, if I had to pick between being smart and lucky, I would pick lucky every time because there's a lot of smoke people out there, broke people out there. So I think it takes a little bit of everything. And then obviously, you know, we're in a media world today where everybody likes influencers, right? You got kids that are 15 years old making a couple of $100 million a year. When I was 15 years old, I had a bike route where I'd collect $7 a week. So, you know, it's a different era today. So if you get an influencer who has a lot of media power, it's going to help push your brand to the next level. But you also have to have the right product. You know, you can push your brand to the next level. By the time 10 million people get to try it or taste it, you could lose it within 6 months.
There you go.
And, you know, these brands, these people are not forgiven. You know, they're not going to forgive you if the brand sucks.
That's true. Oh, well, listen, to your point, but you have celebrities around you all the time, and it's more about them surrounding and swarming your restaurant, which gives your restaurant brand recognition for the product that you're selling, which is amazing food, and you're also selling the experience and the atmosphere with not just top quality shelf liquor, but also top quality food and produce. So you do go the extra mile to follow suit with keeping your customers loyal. Now, Blaise, what role do celebrities play in brand building, and how can their endorsement impact a brand's perception among consumers?
Yeah, I would say celebrities have a huge role in building up that brand's presence. You know, they have their following already. They actually have a cult following where no matter what they're selling or doing, their consumers will love it anyway. And, you know, Peter said, you know, you got to have a good product. And I do believe you definitely have to have a good product. But I've seen products being endorsed by high-level celebrities that have done well just because of their cult-like following. So it is important to have the who's behind your brand. And then when you have a great product like Peter's, you know, and you have both of them at the same time, that's when you get a win.
Yeah, because like for legitimately, the brands that he stands behind, whether it's Bici Cucina or Tipsy Girl Wine, I mean, these are incredible brands because their quality is there, and you don't forget when you've had a glass of Tipsy Girl because you're going to get tipsy at 14% alcohol. Now, could you share some examples of brands that have effectively leveraged celebrities to build their brand image or increase brand awareness, Blaise?
There is one brand that comes into mind where I just left them. Aloe is a clothing brand. It started as a yoga company. They have leveraged their celebrity powers from working with like the Kardashians and all the top models around the world. And it's more than a cult-like following now. And they're doing super well. They have an exclusive gym that only influencers could go into. So, you know, regular consumers try to get a workout in and they can't. So the only thing that they could do that their celebrity friend that they see is doing is just buy the clothes. So, you know, big shout out to Aloe.
Big shout out to Aloe.
Definitely.
Now, Aloe sponsorship,
Yes,
calling to the
absolutely.
sponsorship platform. Now, Peter, let's chat social media. The pandemic transformed social media from a way of communication to the way of communication. That means social selling is now like actual selling. LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, they're not just about influence, they're about branding, marketing, and sales. In the age of social media, how has the landscape of branding changed in your business, and what opportunities does it present for you?
Well, you know, Bici is a 1926 brand, right? There wasn't even TVs back then. My partners are older Italian partners, and when we started taking over, when I came into the business back on 54th Street, which was our number one location, I started getting a publicist. They didn't even know what a publicist was. It's like, what are we going to pay some girl to talk about us? We don't need her to talk about us. And we don't want anybody talking about us anyway. Don't share your business. Don't talk about anything, okay? So that was their mentality, right? I said, no, now it's social media. We got to post pictures. We have to do this. We have to do that. And then when I got launched on the Housewife show, and they saw me on there, they'd say, don't talk about the business. Just keep it quiet. Talk about yourself. Don't talk about the business. It's like, no, we're going to talk about the business. We're going to market it. We're going to promote it. And now it's all you do. You know, we have people that contact us and they say, oh, if we come in and have a dinner for two, you know, we'll post about it and we'll share and take pictures. And then you look at their profile and they have like 3,000 followers. They're like, you know, I'm not going to do that. But then you got somebody like Blaise who has millions of flowers.
He has a lot of flowers, baby. Let me
you can
tell
I was up late last night. When he has a lot of followers, that helps. because people then want to come to the restaurant, and it's all about media. If you think about it, I today don't go out to dinner and eat until I take a picture of my plate. Yeah. And everybody in the restaurant now takes a picture of their plate. Yeah. When I have dinner in Palm Beach with my older Italian partners, they don't take pictures of their plate. And then they always ask me, why are you taking a picture of the plate? Yeah. You don't know what it looks like? I said, no, we're going to put it on social media. And if people are going to like it, they're going to
But that raises the bar. That means that now you have to be so much more aware of not just the way your food tastes, but like visual presentation. And now you're back there with your cook saying, hey, listen, it's not just, putting food on a plate. It's preparing it, presenting it, doing the whole thing. So
there's a saying in the restaurant business, you eat with your eyes first.
Yep, exactly. Now, interesting, because top sellers really rely on social media in this quote-unquote all-out effort to grow a business. Why? Well, just like you likely buy online, over 25% of young Americans up to age 35 buy directly from social media channels and make their decisions based on those social trends. And this is the new normal. So for leaders and entertainers in business, the need to connect with peers and customers digitally has never been more imperative. Now, Blaise, are there any emerging trends or technologies that you believe will significantly impact the future of brand building? And what are some best practices for fostering these meaningful connections?
Like you said, with selling on social media, I think before it used to be just, doing marketing and taking pictures and creating awareness. I think selling straight from social media is definitely growing. And just to piggyback on what Peter said, growing up, I always watched the Italian mafia movies and everything is always hush and quiet, right? And I always wanted to be the guy in the room with all the money that no one knows. And as we're in 2023, those days are kind of fleeting where you can't be quiet and be rich. So you have to, use marketing and use social media and take those pictures. So, I guess things are changing.
Things are changing. Peter, how important is it for your brand, when we talk about brand, we'll talk about Bice Cucina and Tipsy Girl, to engage with their audience? And what are some of your best practices for being able to engage and stay connected outside of just your restaurant?
So, I'm a true believer, like Blaise says, about social media. I wasn't back in the day, but you either have to grow or you're going to die, right? And getting back to what he said about, being in the room with the richest guy and nobody knows, there's a saying that I love. One of my favorite sayings is, act like you can't afford the bread until they find out that you own the bakery. So those days of being humble are kind of over because nobody wants a humble person anymore. People want to see the flash. People want to see you having a good time. People want to see what you're eating. People, especially if you're an influencer, not me, I'm not an influencer, but a celebrity, it goes a long way. When you see a celebrity at Bice Cucina and I post it, I automatically see my sales go up the next day or within a few days. When I do a cooking show on NBC, and I'm not trying to give a shout out to NBC, I love iHeart, okay? But when I do a cooking show, I notice my sales within 2-3 days spike. I notice if I cook salmon and linguine on the show, my salmon and linguine sell out for at least a couple of weeks. Yeah. So it's very important to stay on top of this marketing aspect of the business.
Yeah, without a doubt. Listen, the Scotto sisters, Rosanna Scotto and her sister, Elaine Fresco by Scott, Rosanna's on every single day, right? She's on the media, she's out there, she's doing her thing, and yet she's coming on an interview on iHeartRadio to talk about, where things are at in terms of culinary experience in New York City and how the industry has evolved, because she knows that, look, iHeartRadio, you have to reach not just the television platforms, but you have to be able to reach audio. iHeart reaches 9 out of 10 Americans on an average daily level. So to all of your points, you have to leverage social media platforms, radio platforms, OTT, OTA, YouTube, you name it, because people want instant gratification. To Peter's point, everything that glitters is gold. They judge a book by its cover. We have to sell the experience, and they want it now on demand. So you have to just basically feed the monster. And that's what we're really doing with social media, is we're feeding the monster. Any closing thoughts, Peter?
Yeah, I'm going to go feed the monster. I don't know what Blaise is doing, but I'm definitely feeding the monster. I'm going to have a nice meal at Bice. I'm going to have a tall glass of Tipsy Girl wine. And yeah, the monster needs to be fed.
I'm coming to join you. Blaise, thank you so much for coming on.
Definitely, and I'm joining you guys too for lunch.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Peter, you're the best. Thank you for piping in today.
Thank you.
Guys, you definitely have to check out Biche Cucina. Now, listen, in conclusion, the power of celebrities and branding cannot be underestimated in today's competitive marketplace. Celebrities have the ability to captivate audiences, influence consumer perceptions, and elevate a brand's visibility. By associating with well-known figures, brands can tap into the emotional connections and aspirations that celebrities represent, the dream they're selling. Establishing a strong and relatable image is key. Furthermore, leveraging that social media platform allows brands to engage directly with their target audience, fostering authenticity, building trust, and really truly expanding their reach. The combined impact of celebrities and social media, that amplifies a brand's message. It drives brand awareness and ultimately contributes to long-term brand equity. So to stay ahead in the ever-evolving marketing landscape, harnessing the power of celebrities and leveraging social media is a potent strategy that can propel brands towards success without a doubt. That was our famous influencer segment brought to us by Biche Cucina. That was our returning guest, Peter Guimaraes, managing partner at Biche Cucina Restaurant Group. Head to bichecucina.com. You can check him out on the gram at Peter G for NYC or at Biche Cucina Midtown. And a big shout out to our dear friend, Blaise Ffrench, directly to his website, Blaise with a double F, Ffrench.com, at Blaise Ffrench. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.